If he hadn't have been there, there was a lot of daylight for this young man. Merritt could have been in the end zone easily, capitalizing on a mistake, a mental mistake again by this Chadsey team.
This Detroit Henry Ford team has produced some talent themselves of their own that they can claim. There's a look at that small front line of Detroit Chadsey. Excuse me, of Detroit Henry Ford. Here is the give, number 5.
This Henry Ford offensive line, all they're doing is getting in these guys' way. That's primarily all they're doing, Jeff. They're giving their back and their quarterback time. This is what I see. This is timing play. If they can just stay in this defender's face for so long to give the opportunity for these backs to break through these holes. When you got guys like Leon Merritt, 6'3", 200 and some odd pounds, I'm telling you, you can make some things happen. You don't have to have the biggest line like that, but later on during the season, when you get closer to the playoffs, that's when it becomes important, because you've got to dominate that defensive line in order to make things happen.
And you can put the theory to rest to say you need a big line. You don't all the time need a big line. You just need some guys to get in the way.
That's it.
There's another pickup by Dennis Hubbard, number 5.
But don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about telling all the high school coaches to go out and get a bunch of peewees to get them on their offensive line. You know, the bigger, the more agile, the quicker, the better that offensive lineman will be. You've got to train these guys, because right now in college ball as well as pro ball, offensive linemen are like gold. They are like gold. If you're big enough, fast enough, you can make things happen. You can get yourself a scholarship to any school in the USA.
Short yardage play, 4th and a little less than a yard, and let's see if they picked up the first down on the quarterback sneak by Jameson, and they do.
Well, sometimes, folks, when you don't have a script and you're talking right out of your head, it's a little bit difficult to say all of things correctly. Taking a look at the replay, let's look at the offensive line. Look how low they got. They got really low on this defensive line for Chadsey. Now, that's something that Chadsey can't allow. When you have a small offensive lineman, when they try to come that low at you, you've got to push them down. Don't allow them to go for your knees. Don't allow them to push you back. When they come at you that low, push them down. Chadsey has a bigger defense, but this Henry Ford, the offensive line, has a lot of heart.
A lot of different movement and formation. Here's the option to Bright, 26 touchdowns last year, and couldn't get outside and stopped by the corner on Detroit Chadsey.
Might be a clip on this Henry Ford team.
Let's see who it's against.
Let's take a look at the Zebras out there who do a great job in the PSL each and every week. Try to wait for the signal. Hold it. Henry Ford.
They ran into that problem in the first possession, and they had some holding calls against Detroit Henry Ford.
Knocked themselves right out of the end zone. Took 6 points right off the board.
In their very first game, Detroit Henry Ford played the tough and one of the top teams in the state in Detroit Catholic Central. And there's number 11, and you're not going to believe this, but that's my cousin. That's D. Ford with the tackle of Londell Bright. D. Ford, number 11, for Detroit Chadsey.
Excuse me for a minute, folks. Jeff, are you joking?
No, I'm not joking.
That's really that?
That is. It's the bloodline. Outstanding athletes come out of the
I'm not going to say all of that. Let's take a look at the replay, and let's see how much heart that your cousin has here. Let's look how he strings this play out. There's the pitch. Here's the pitch. Watch the pitch. There it is. He grabs, holds on to something, trips him up, brings him down by the arm pads. See, that's why I don't believe in all those arm pads and wrist pads and neck pads and eye pads and nose pads and all them things that look good, because they can also bring you down.
Great effort that time by defensive end. D. Ford, here's the pass.
Oh!
In and out of the hands of number 8, Brian Rogers on the play. A perfectly thrown pass. Should have held on, but just couldn't hold it.
And a perfectly timed hit by that Chadsey defender also. Let's take a look at what happens This small offensive line of Henry Ford, I'm loving this. They're giving this guy time enough to zoom back in the pocket, 3 or 4 steps deep, zooms the bars out on the left side of the field. Watch the timing of this. Hi-ya! See ya! Not today. Not today. Nice timing. No, Jeff, nice timing. Exactly what it was. Let's give this Chadsey team a lot of credit. That was a nice timing play.
Patrick Nakumba on the defense of Chadsey. 3rd down and about 30. Going deep in the corner.
Somebody's
open receiver. No! Just off the fingertips.
Oh, boy. But I'm still amazed at the time that this small offensive line for Henry Ford is giving his quarterback. I'm telling you, the guy has a chance to roam around the pocket. He's looking at 2 or 3 different receivers. He goes long, boom, right off the fingertips, possible 6, but no play today.
Timothy Stutterfield just over his fingertips. Almost an outstanding catch.
Oh, yes, indeed.
4th down, and they're going for it. 4th down and some acres to go.
Oh, yes, a lot of real estate.
Jamison back. Here's the screen pass. Bright has a wave of blockers out in front. Bright spinning and weaving and getting back to the original line of scrimmage. They'll turn it over.
That's about to head the ball, but again, the ref says the play was dead down at that particular point. So,
notice the screen pass. Here it is.
Yes. Again, let's look at this offensive line. Now, what happens is there seems to be a breakdown, but it's not. They let these guys in after the quarterback put his quick screen, and let's watch this young man do its thing. Look at the 2 blockers out front. They're just looking for somebody to hit. And what he does is break toward the middle of the field. He's tackled by number 50 and a couple of other folks for this Chadsey team who happens to be...
That's Greg Gothard, number 50. And it's Courtney Dinkins, the signal caller for the Explorers of Chadsey. Here's the give to the fullback, the first back through. Not very much on that play.
They're giving this guy all kinds of problems. They're finding a way to get back in the backfield before this back for this Chadsey team can take 1 or 2 steps. They're right there on it. What Chadsey's going to have to do, they're trying to go straight up the middle. They're trying to run off tackle. Chadsey's going to have to forget about that right now. I would try some pitches. I would see if I can get my guys to block this Henry Ford team to the middle. They've got to make something happen. They've got to give these running backs a little bit of time to make their thing happen.
Courtney Dinkins looking over the defense. Here's the give to the first back through. That's number 44. We'll get a number on him in just a few minutes.
We'll get a name on him.
A name on him. We got a number. We're at McKay Field, nestled in northwest Detroit, the home of the West Side Cubs, and a place that has been refinished by Mr. Sam Pooh. Here's the give to Raphael Cooper, one of the best in the Midwest at running back.
Absolutely, and when you have one of the best in the Midwest at running back, what you want to do is give him an opportunity to see some daylight. Right now, I think running on that weak side of this Henry Ford team, which is something that Chadsey's offense hasn't tried yet, I think this is something that they should take a look at, because maybe this would give their backs a little bit more time, give their blocking schemes a little bit more time to work out, and hopefully we can see some nice broken field running, because this is what this Chadsey team is going to have to make happen this day.
First down, Detroit Chadsey. Spot pass. Fine catch by number 3.
Absolutely nice timing play. As you remember, the first play, Chadsey's offensive possession, they went up with the same play, first possession, to show this Henry Ford team that they will and can throw the ball. That timing pass worked this time. They pick up about 10 yards first down. Let's take a look at this. Simply a 2-step fade, up over in the corner. Receiver for Chadsey, number 3, which is Howard Barkley, goes up, comes down, and I believe he has first down. Is that first down?
First down for Detroit Chadsey.
Creative.
Power formation right. Here's the give to Cooper. Cooper testing the right side, or the left side of the Henry Ford defensive line.
Henry Ford's defensive line, these guys are quick. What's going on is that they're anticipating the big back for for this Chadsey team carrying the ball and what's going on, whichever way he's looking, whichever way he's turning, they're there. I don't know if this kid in the backfield, I don't know if his eyes are telling which direction he's going to go in, because this Henry Ford team is entirely too quick. It's like they know exactly what's going on before this Chadsey team does.
Power I formation right for Chadsey. Chadsey on the move. Last time they gave it to Raphael Cooper, he picked up 2 yards off the right side. And now, Dinkins looking to the air again, picked off by Londell Bright, and flags everywhere.
And that's going to be defensive, offensive pass interference against Chadsey.
I don't think so. I think that's going to go against Detroit Henry Ford.
I don't think so, Jeff. You and I disagree here. I think it's going to be on the wide receiver. He ran up the back of the defender, which is, you can't do that. Both men are allowed to go for that ball at that time.
Let's see. And you're right. Yeah. Clinton. Let's chalk one up for him.
Now let's talk up for both. It's a double penalty. The play is dead. We're going to start anew. Let's take a look at the replay. What simply happens here out wide? Watch this. As you can see, the defender all the way down top of your screen, he runs up the back of the Henry Ford player, which is a no-no. When that ball is up in the air, position is everything, and it's a free duck. Whoever has the position can come down with the ball.
So make it 2nd down and about 7 for the Explorers as they try to get on the move. Loose ball, and Dinkins falls on it.
Well, he can take that rabbit's foot out of his pocket and shake it a little bit right now. That was exactly the kind of thing that you were talking about, and the kind of mental mistakes after something like that. This is something that this Chadsey team can ill afford to happen right now. Right now, they have to make things work for their offense. They've got to play tough. They've got to suck it up. That offensive line has got to find a way to turn this defense for Henry Ford, who's swarming. It seems as though they know exactly where the ball's going to be before that offensive unit of this Chadsey team, and they're making it work for them. Oh, what a stick! What a stick! What a stick! They stood him up, and it was party time, folks. This Henry Ford team.
That time,
this Henry Ford team stood him up and took him out. Let's take a look at the replay, Jeff. Trying to, again, off tackle, up the hole. Watch this, bam, he runs into his own guy. But watch the wrap, but watch the twist and turn. I'm loving this. The twisting and turning, this is the basic stuff that you're taught in PSL, and then he stands him up, and here comes his teammate.
You call that textbook tackling.
Yes, indeed.
As Henry Ford will get the ball at about the 20-yard line. There's your score. Detroit Henry Ford 6 and Chadsey nothing. Textbook tackling by Marcus Lloyd. Only 5'8", 180 pounds, and a junior, and playing the defensive line.
I'm telling you, you got Mike is pulling rabbits out of his hat. I'm telling you, it's like a smoke screen you got up there. He's got these little guys playing big. They're playing really big this game. And you got to look at the small guys, number 50, number 53, number 56. They're making it happen. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that you need on your team if you are going to win. Ability means a lot, but then so does heart.
Number 53 was Marcus Lloyd. Here's the give to Merritt. Merritt, who possibly could be a lineman, is running the ball at 6'3", 220 pounds, picks up about 4 yards on the play.
Right, and what's going on that play? It looked as though that Chadsey defense gained a little bit of momentum there, starting to believe in themselves. Not saying that they didn't believe in themselves coming into this game, but right now they know it's important to stop this Henry Ford team at this juncture of the game, at this particular spot, where they could possibly come up with some good field position and go in before the half and tie this game up.
Eyebone right. Here's the give off the right side. Maybe a pickup of about a yard or two.
And this is what, again, this Chadsey team is doing a really good job because they're stringing it out. Whenever the Henry Ford team decides to run wide, they're looking at the linebackers gapping, which is really helping a lot. The defensive team is standing these guys up, where the linebackers can look through and see exactly what's going on, and they're tackling a spot right now.
3rd down and about 5 for Detroit Henry Ford. This is the 3rd play on this drive.
And this is a big play for Chadsey.
Oh, boy! Missed! Londell Bright dancing in the backfield. Bright to the open field.
He's gone! Daylight! He's gone! He's to the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, touchdown! Oh, boy!
A great
in the truck, guys.
Great illustration by Quentin King, but the most underrated wingback in the city, Londell Bright, displaying some of his outstanding ability as he danced through the Chadsey defense.
Oh, Kevin, you got to show that one more time. I apologize to you guys in the truck. I didn't mean to blow your eardrums out. That was absolutely great. But this guy, let me tell you something. First of all, there was 4 tacklers of the Chadsey unit that couldn't grab him. He goes left, completely reverses field, goes right, run past 2 more defenders. There's nothing but daylight. He hops it right on in the end zone. I'm telling you, that was a very exciting play.
That was a 75-yard run, and DeAndre Woods for the 2-point conversion. So, make that 14-0. In favor of the Trojans. And there's a look at the man who just scored the last touchdown, Londell Bright, number 1. And he has a big number 1 in his heart. He's number 1 in every Trojan fan's heart right now.
Oh, boy.
We'll be right back with more exciting PSL action after this. Stay right there.
Special homecoming celebration. So join me at Belle Isle Saturday, September 18th from noon till 6 for a free concert and festival brought to you by BET, Barden Cablevision, WJLB, WJZZ, and Diverse Entertainment. Enjoy great music, entertainment, and fun for the entire family. Plus, students can win a chance to have the host of BET's Teen Summit come to your school for a live teen forum. We'll see you Saturday, September 18th in Detroit.
Welcome back, and Londell Bright, a 75-yard run from the line of scrimmage and put Detroit Henry Ford up 14-0. And man, when you take a look at that, Division I schools don't judge this man by his size, but by his heart. Here it is again.
Look at this. 1 tackler. Now, he should have been down there. There's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3. Look at the dance. I mean, this guy looks like he's at a disco. And all of a sudden, he runs past 2 more, throw open hole. The last effort right there by defender for Chadsey, and it's nothing but clear sailing right into the end zone for this young man, Leon Bright. This guy is really speed galore. Small guy, show you in stature, but big guy with a heart. I'm telling you.
Londell Bright, number 1. And this guy does not just play offense. He goes both ways and also on the specialty team.
This is the young man. This young man is the reason that Kevin Butler has a headache right now.
Getting set to kick off. Trojans 1-1 overall, 1-0 in league play. Getting set to kick deep. Another short kick. And almost, whoa.
Again.
Almost recovered again. That's not intentional by the kicker. Just getting off some bad kicks, but gives the Explorers of Chadsey some excellent field position for this series.
Okay, I think right now for the Chadsey team, they're down by 2 touchdowns. What they still haven't tried yet, which I'm really amazed at, I'm looking at that left side, that weak side. I want to see Chadsey run to that weak side. I also want to see them mix it up a little bit. They've already shown that they can throw the ball on this Henry Ford team. I think if they mix it up a little bit, see if they can confuse this Henry Ford team, maybe something good will happen for them. Let's take a look and see what they're going to do with this first possession.
Trips left for Detroit Chadsey. As all his wide receivers in. Dinkins drops back. Here's some pressure from the backside. And a flag on the play as the referee waves it off and calls it incomplete. But there are flags on the play. And when flags are thrown back there, it's most likely a holding.
Yeah, and it would have been a good idea for a holding penalty at that time because quarterback for Chadsey was nailed on the blind side, and it looked to me as though his arm hadn't gone forward yet, but the officials, that's why they got the shirts on with the stripes, because they're the men in charge.
So they walk off 15, first down, and 25 for the Explorers.
Chadsey doesn't want to knock themselves out of this contest this early by knocking themselves back in bad field position, giving this Henry Ford team a chance to block a potential punt.
Dinkins rolling out. Leon Bright. No, that's not Leon Bright. That's number 11 for Detroit, Henry Ford on the tackle. Charles Goddard. Sorry.
And let's talk about what this Henry Ford team is doing right now. They're simply penetrating. Right now, they're penetrating this offensive line for Chadsey, and this is exactly what they're doing.
Second down, and I believe that those whistles sounding that means it's halftime. Here's that first sack by Detroit Henry Ford in this last series. There's a look at Courtney Dinkins, the quarterback, the frustrated quarterback of Detroit Chadsey. Here it is.
Let's look how this offense totally broke down. Payal, as you can see, the hand they looked as though it was going forward, you know. And what happened was he had a host of Henry Ford players in his face before he even knew what happened. Pressuring him from the right side, pressuring him from the left side, pressuring him up the middle. What this Chadsey coach is going to have to tell his team is that if we're going to have a chance to get back into this contest today, this offensive line is going to have to do a lot better than what they're doing. They're going to have to give this quarterback and these quarterback and back some time, open up some holes, create some problems for him to drop back in for some potential pass.
Now here's the penetration by Detroit Henry Ford on the second sack, as Dinkins doesn't get any time because, hey, I'm bringing them all if I know they're going to pass, and that's what Henry Ford is doing.
There you go. And he simply slows him up in the backfield, and Payal, number 11 for Henry Ford. That's Charles Goodger.
There's your score. Detroit Henry Ford 14. Folks, it's halftime. Detroit Chadsey 0. We'll be right back with more exciting PSL football after this. Hang on. There's your score. Henry Ford 14, the Chadsey Explorers 0. We're almost set for the second half kickoff, and the first half belonged to Detroit Henry Ford. What do you say there, Quinn?
Absolutely, but I tell you something, if the rest of this game is anything like the third quarter, we're going to have an exciting second half.
And here is Leon Merritt kicking it deep, and Raphael Cooper will get it right around his 10-yard line. Raphael, one of the best backs in the Midwest, gets out to about the 30-yard line, maybe a little shy of the 30. Let's call it the 27-yard line or so.
I like this Raphael Cooper. You know, one thing I like about a lot of runners are good going east and west. This guy looks like he's good going. He can stop on a dime, man, and make things happen. Just as what he did out there when he ran into the huge glut of Henry Ford players. It looked as though he just slanted to the left, went around to pick up another 2 or 3 yards. I'm telling you, that's talent. That is talent.
Power I formation left for the Explorers. Dinkins with the call. Here's the give on the inside handoff to number 7.
Again, the one thing that I'd like to see this Chadsey team do, I'd like to see them try over on that weak side. That's a side still that I haven't seen worked on yet. And Henry Ford looks as though they're challenging the Chadsey team to try it, but it really doesn't look like they're all that comfortable with that bluff.
Anthony Hobbs on the last carry for the Explorers, and picked up about 1.5 yards on the play. Power I formation left for the Explorers of Chadsey. Here's the give to Cooper. Avoids one tackler, tries to get outside, and does, and close to the first down.
That was nice running. This guy has natural ability. A lot of times the reason backs run into problems is because they think too much. This guy looks like as soon as he gets the ball in his hand, he just let instinct take over. And this is what I like about him. He has that gift. And there's not too many, especially young high school athletes with that gift right at this particular time.
When you take a look at it, here it is. Look at the quick feet of Raphael Cooper.
Here it is right here. Let's take a look at what we're talking about. He bounces to the outside. He just pulls his leg off under. Now take a look at this. Watch this. Power instinct. He just moves his body just a little bit to scoop past the defender and pie-yow. There you have it. And he's down, but he gains another 2 or 3 yards for that. And this is what I'm talking about. I mean, you can't teach that. That's instinct. This is the kind of stuff that a lot of people wish they had, but don't. The biggest problems with a lot of young backs most times is that they think too much. This kid looks as though he just let instinct take over as soon as he gets his hand on the ball.
Number 56 was the injured player on the play, but he trots off and he's okay. And we'll get back to action. That's Chadsey Sayers, the outside linebacker for the Henry Ford Trojans. We'll call it 3rd and about 2.5. Dinkins, oh! And he's met. Raphael Cooper is met right in the heart by Leon Merritt, number 9, and number 6, Matthew Irvin.
Again, Chadsey continues to run at that side. I don't understand why they won't go at the other side. That side looked like it's runnable. They've got the speed in the backfield to make it happen. This is something that this Chadsey team has to try. At least this next possession that they get, they've got to try it. They can't afford to let this Henry Ford team elevate themselves. Let me correct myself. Score another 7 points. They're up 21-0. They can ill afford that at this time.
Low kick bouncing around. Londell Bright decides to get away from it and does. And to be marked right about the 20-yard line of the Trojans.
Okay, now it's time for Chadsey's defense. Let's see if they're going to make it possible to keep their offense, their team in this contest, because it's going to be on their shoulders. We talked about earlier, just about the whole first quarter, this Chadsey defense was out on the field. Henry Ford had 6 points taken off the board because of penalties. 2 costly penalties got them out of the end zone and took 6 off the board. But then again, this Chadsey defense has been out on the field all day. They're going to have to definitely rise to the occasion if they want to keep their team in this game.
Marquis Jamison at the quarterback. Here is the give to DeQuando Woods off the right side. He picked up some good yardage for the Trojans. Trojans 1-1. The only loss coming to the hands of Detroit Catholic Central, which is the #1 team in state Class AA. And there's a look at the offensive line, the backs of the offensive line of the Henry Ford Trojans. Not a big line, only averaging about maybe 180 across the front.
Number 54, Robert Gatewood.
He's the biggest guy on the line.
Number 53, Marcus Lloyd. And number 57, Rondell Marsh.
And offside by the Explorer. It's going to make it 2nd and short.
That's a no-no for Chadsey. This is what they can't have happen to them right now. They've got to get up there and they've got to play tough defense, but they've got to play mentally tough. They can't make all these mental mistakes.
Here's the give to Merritt, close to the first down. Let's see if he gets it. Let's see if he gets a good mark on that, on the spot. And he does. He picks up another first down for Detroit Henry Ford.
Well, this is what Henry Ford has been great at doing all day. They've been dominating the lines of scrimmage. They've been dominating the clock. They've been dominating every aspect of this game. Chadsey, you look at Chadsey, you see a team that has a lot of potential. You see a team that's there, but it's just they can't pull themselves up over that hump. They've got to slow down. They've got to eliminate the mental mistakes. They've got to play as a team. They're a bigger team. These guys are fast on defense. They've got to make something happen.
Here's the pitch. DeAndre Wood finding some seams in a pickup of about 4.5 on the play.
And a great play it was. I mean, what simply happened is that when you look at a play like this, Chadsey should already know because they've seen the setup so many times. They're going to run that way. They're going to run right. They've got two blockers out front. What has to happen is the linebacker has to step up, which he really didn't do. He was knocked off the line of scrimmage, which allowed number 2 for Henry Ford.
That's DeAndre Wood.
DeAndre Wood to pick up those yards. What has to happen is that the linebacker has to step up. When you see something like that, he has to play the line tight. He can't play back too deep, and he can't afford to get knocked off his feet.
2nd and 5 for the Trojans. Option play. Jamison with the keeper picks up another first down for the Trojans.
Only for the lack of soggy sod in the middle of the field, you might have seen another big play. He went to put that left foot, that right foot down. The footing wasn't there. It gave way. Down he went.
Here's the instant replay on that. Here is Jamerson. And watch the good ball handling skills. Fooled our camera woman.
and all he does really is follow his blocker. That's all he's doing is following the seams that's created for him. And he fits in there really well. He does a great job at that. And that's what Chadsey is going to have to stop. They're going to have to stop the mental mistakes. Hopefully, when you play your hardest, this is when things turn around for you. Momentum plays a big part in this game. I mean, momentum swings for one team, then goes down, and it comes up for the other. Chadsey has to be in a position to take advantage when the chance comes for him. They've got to be there to take advantage of those chances, those opportunities, those missed opportunities, I should say.
And walked off 5 yards against the Trojans. Makes the first in about, I'd say, a long 5. And they have an excellent backfield. Single back in the backfield. Split right, split left. Jamerson to the air, intended for Londell Bright, and overthrew him.
Again, there was another sideline pass that the Trojans were trying to complete, but just wasn't meant to be. It was thrown a little bit too high, too far, incomplete pass for them. But this is the kind of thing that this Chadsey team has to do. The hustle was there that last play. They've got to do this consistently, in and out, in every down, first, second, third. They've got to be there consistently if they want to get back into this contest. They can't afford to let Henry Ford hang on to this ball a length of time and take a lot of time off the clock, because that's bad for the offensive game.
2nd and a long 5 for the Trojans. Londell Bright, single back in the backfield. Jamerson rolling out and finding a wide open receiver for the first down. A penalty on the play. And let's see what the flag on the field means. But that time, pardon me, Dennis Hubbard on the reception. He was alone back in the backfield. And let's see who it's going to go against.
It looks like it's going to go against Henry Ford.
And it does. So the big play is nullified. And they'll walk backwards. Excellent play calling by the Trojans. Here's the replay.
And what happens is that he takes about 8 or 9, a deep drop, and then he rolls right. Now look at what happens. He has 3 pursuers. I love this pass. Look at the spiral. Pipe right in the arms there. Pick up of about 12, 15 yards. Called back, nullified, because again, an error, a penalty, something that should not have been.
Wide out to the left and to the right. top of your screen, Londell Bright. Long back in the backfield, Leon Merritt. Second and long, going deep to Bright, the speedy receiver. Checked very well by number 20. Fine job defensively, staying to the inside, and that was Patrick Nakumba.
And Patrick did a great job because he had position, he kept position, he didn't allow that Henry Ford player to push him out. That's exactly what you want your defensive back to do. The only mistake that he made was he turned his head. His body was out of position, but he made up for the mistake by being there. He didn't allow that Henry Ford player to get the position that he wanted. But the thing that I want to talk about for a second, Jeff, besides we're looking at the cheerleaders here for this Chadsey team, trying to coach the crowd and getting excited about their team to give them the kind of help they need.
Jamison slips, tries to throw it across the middle, almost picked off by Raymond Hill, number 6.
People constantly talk about football. They constantly talk about athletics. But what I have to say is that football is a great tool. It's an instrument because these young men are dedicated. In order to be out on that field, you have to be dedicated. Football teaches you responsibility because you have to be responsible for your position. You have to be responsible for your teammate's position. It teaches you to care. It teaches you to compete. It teaches you so many things that we can sit up here and talk about so the football game would be over with. But this is how important this sport is. Yes, it's a sport, but it's a tool. It's something that the kids can use to learn from.
You're absolutely right. And Henry Ford takes a timeout. They have 4th down. They're faced with 4th down and a bunch. They're going to discuss it. While Mike Marshall discusses that with his team, we're going to discuss something. We're going to go to a break. We'll be right back. Stay there. More PSL action coming. This is only the 3rd quarter, and there's a look at the hungry fans. Hey, guys.
It's a two-alliteration. Hot audience out there, guys. Good show tonight, huh? Oh, there's someone from HBO at table 7.
HBO, man, that's where the big boys play.
It's HBO. HBO's for somebody. I'm nobody.
This is a big break.
No, you go. You
Would have worn my other shirt.
Is there really somebody out there from HBO tonight?
Nah, you kidding? Why would HBO come to a dump like this? But they're always funny when they think there is.
If you think you've seen funny before, just you wait.
This summer, the best way to see TNT's favorite movies is with everyone's favorite celebrities.
Ta-da!
This week, everyone's favorite romantics, Tom and Roseanne Arnold, host The Way We Were. TNT's Our Favorite Movies Summer Edition 93. Thursday and Sunday on TNT.
There's your score, 14-0. Chadsey on top, but hey, when you're down, you're never out. When you're down, you're never out. Still a lot of football left, and a costly turnover just occurred as we were away. Detroit Henry Ford, 4th down and a bunch in punt formation. Bad snap. Special teams might hurt you every time.
Absolutely. Well, right now, Chadsey's got to get this ball in the end zone right now. They can't play. They can't do all of these funny little coy things. They've got to score. They've got an opportunity. Momentum possibly has changed here. They've got to take advantage of the opportunity that has been granted them now.
And Henry Ford takes another timeout, and you're absolutely right, because Henry Ford is going to talk about defensing this Raphael Cooper, because they know he's going to get the ball, and it's just a matter of stopping him when he gets it.
And again, I'd like to see Raphael go to the left side. That's the side that really hasn't been tested by this team, this Chadsey team today. They've been running strong right. They've been running off tackle. They haven't run that left side. I'd like to see him try going over that way to see what happened. I mean, what's going on is that Henry Ford is strong on the right. Henry Ford is strong on the right side. They're playing strong on the right side, but that left side has yet to be tested.
Some fine athletes have come out of the Detroit Public School League, and like I said at the top of the broadcast, these two schools have contributed to putting a lot of young men into college. Both programs, outstanding. Last year, Miko Gabo, who's at Eastern Michigan right now, formerly of Detroit Henry Ford. The redshirt freshman up there. Here's the give to Cooper. Ran up the back of one of his own blockers. Didn't get much out of it.
Not much at all. 2 yards at the most there. And I think what Chadsey needs to do, they've got an opportunity. They've got to take advantage of it. I still say they need to go to the left side. They may come out throwing here on the second down, but I'd like to see him try that left side and see exactly what Raphael can do over there. He has yet to go that side of the field against this Trojan team yet. Taking a look at the replay, what simply happens, this is a bull rush. Power, he runs right over his own player and it stands him up, as a matter of fact. It makes it a little bit easier for this Henry Ford team to wrap around and game tackle him and take it down. So we'll call that a gain of 2 yards.
Chadsey trying to test the heart of the Henry Ford defensive line. Dinkins on the option. Good play that time. By number 5, Dennis Hubbard.
Give Hubbard all the credit in the world. He sniffed that out. He was there and completely stopped him right in his moan. Stood him straight up and stopped him. That looked like it may have been a loss of 1. Right now, Chadsey is looking at a possible 3rd and 9, which is a position they really didn't want to be in, because now they're in a position that they've got to throw the ball because they've got to score. But the other option is trying that left side. I know I keep saying that, but I'd like to see that happen because Chadsey has yet to try that left side of this Henry Ford team.
Slot left I formation for the Explorers. 3rd down and about 12. And Raphael Cooper looking for a hole, searching for a hole, finds a little daylight, may have picked up about 3 yards on the play.
Well, this is 4-down area right here. Chadsey has no choice but to go for it on this 4th down. Right now they're down 14-0. We're late in the 3rd quarter, and they've got to try this situation here. They've got to look at this 4th down as trying to go for this 1st down and possibly getting in the end zone.
In my left arm, I'm not carrying a football, but it's a little short guy that appears on Sports Talk every now and then.
Every week. This is my partner in crime.
Mike Tiger Price.
Partner in crime. Mike the Tiger Man Price.
And there's a look at Coach Spann, concerned look on his face as his Explorers try to put something together in this drive. They're facing a 4th down and 10.
And Jeff, before we go back to the field of play, let me utterly shamelessly promote Sports Talk every Wednesday, 8:30 to 9:30 on BC6. Jeff Lowe, Stephanie Young, Mike Tiger Price, and myself, Quentin King.
One of the assistant coaches on Mark Marshall's staff. Mark Marshall, supported by Ken Robinson, Raymond Baker, Michael Henderson, Will Hamilton, and Michael Love. Motion left, single back in the backfield. Raphael Cooper. Dinkins looking to the air.
It's going to be declined. It was a holding call, and what's going to happen, Henry Ford is going to decline that, and Henry Ford will get possession of the ball there. And we're late in the 3rd quarter. Chadsey is down by 2 touchdowns, and old Mo looked like it's just swung in the other general direction again.
So they can't convert on the 4th down situation, and the Trojans will take over. On their own 26-yard line.
Now, one thing that Mike and his team, there's head coach for Chadsey.
Coach Spann, a veteran of the PSL, fine coach. Here's the DeAndre Woods in some trouble. And a fine defensive job that time as the defensive end of Detroit Chadsey. Stop the penetration or stop the 3 linemen in front of him. Good job on the defensive end. That's number 11, D. Ford.
Well, right
Bloodline.
now,
That's Bloodline.
Oh, yeah. Right now, Henry Ford cannot afford to rest on his laurels. They're up by 14, but that's not a lot in a game like this. And the last thing that you want your back to do is exactly what happened the last possession. He backpedaled instead of going forward.
Rollout pass, ball received by Londell Bright. Hard guy to bring down, but a fine defensive play by Craig Gothard. number 50 for Detroit Chadsey.
Chadsey is definitely raising to the occasion. What they want to do is give their offensive team a chance to come back out and try it again. Taking a look at the replay, what simply happens is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, again, an 8-step drop, roll right, pass off to the right side to Londell, and he tries to run wide, and what happens? He's brought down by number 50 of Chadsey. Great open field tackle. That's exactly what you like to see if you're a defensive coach. And right now, Henry Ford's back is against the wall. 3rd and 9.
3rd and 20.
3rd and 20, excuse me.
Pro set. 2 receivers out to the right. Jameson. And the pressure forced the bad pass.
Now Chadsey should have very good field position on this upcoming punt. The question is, will the coach of Chadsey send his defensive lineman after the punter for this Henry Ford team? Will he try to make something happen there? They need 7.
They're having trouble with their punt teams, as with the last 2 possessions on the punt. And here's the last pass. Watch the pressure from the outside by number 42. Forcing the pass.
There it is. About 4 to 5 feet in front of him. Bad throw down. Quarterback for Henry Ford didn't have a chance to plant his feet.
Good snap that time. Jameson gives off the kick. A short kick. And it'll be down, but good field position. It'll be down close to the 30-yard line of Detroit Henry Ford.
Now here's another opportunity. Again, great field position for the Chadsey team. The last possession they had great field position, but this offensive unit has to make something happen. The coaching staff of this Chadsey team has to get away from the safe stuff. They're going to have to take some chances this possession. They're going to have to back Henry Ford on their toes. They're going to have to mix it up. They've got to make this Henry Ford team respected, because right now Henry Ford is looking for this Chadsey team to run the ball. They're not thinking about pass. Chadsey hasn't tried that left side yet either. I think that's something that they need to take a look at.
Well, at the end of the 3rd quarter, and the guys will change the sides of the field. Your score, Detroit Henry Ford 14, Detroit Chadsey 0.
And you'll find the latest news, weather, and sports, and so much more. Each morning, we take a fresh look at a changing world and meet the newsmakers and trendsetters who keep it spinning. And we invite you to call in and voice your opinion. We want to know what you think. Join Donna Kelly and Bob King and open your eyes to a different kind of morning news. CNN Morning News. Weekdays 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
What is CNN Sports Tonight?
Highlights?
Oh, definitely highlights.
The play of the day.
I like that.
So what's your question?
How do we tell the viewers about CNN Sports Tonight?
Let the announcer do it.
To catch what happened in sports today, watch CNN Sports Tonight with Nick Charles and Fred Hickman on CNN.
Tuesday nights on the Discovery Channel. Share the dream behind the genius and glimpse the science that makes it come true. Celebrate the spirit of invention. Then, step into the future. From the solar car to space-age crime-fighting techniques, witness the latest and the fastest cutting-edge technology that's about to change our lives. Take the next step. Tuesdays, beginning at 9 Eastern and Pacific, only on the Discovery Channel.
Don't get stuck in the same routine. Change it daily with ESPN's Midday Workout. Start off with the world's best fitness instructors, the ESPN Fitness Pros. You'll get a workout with a twist. Getting Fit with Denise Austin is next. And July keeps you moving with Bodies in Motion. Plus, the gang on body shaping will get you in great shape. Get up, get going, get ESPN's Midday Workout.
McKay Field, nestled in northwest Detroit, is Chadsey, and that's Raphael Cooper with the carry. Chadsey and Henry Ford, their score. Detroit Henry Ford 14 and Detroit Chadsey 0. But Detroit Chadsey is trying to mount a drive here at the beginning of this fourth quarter.
It looks as though Chadsey is trying to force the ball down, trying to force feed the ball down Henry Ford's throat, but it really hasn't worked. The last consecutive 3 quarters, it has not worked. It seemed to me right now they're down by 14 points. They need to come up with a different scheme because they can't continue pounding that ball if it's not happening. They've got to go to a different look. They've got to do something a little bit different.
Power I formation right for the Explorers. Here's the give. No. Dickens keeps it, gets outside, and Leo Fortunato, the defensive tackle, wearing number 12, and you can get noticed wearing a little number like that, playing defensive line.
And you may get noticed also because there's some laundry on the field, as you like to call it. Penalty flag.
One of our officials explaining to Leon Merritt what the situation is. And let's see will they mark it off against them, and I believe they will. And they'll walk it off against the Explorers. And Henry Ford has done a good job up to this point in this game containing the very dangerous Raphael Cooper.
They've done an amazing job. And you know one thing that I've noticed, too, is that Henry Ford relies a lot on their linebackers. They rely so much on them. These guys are coming up and trying to make things happen. They're playing a wide gap at the end to get a better view of what's going on and coming from the outside. And here's that left side, and hi-ya! Again, another conversion. This Henry Ford team, these guys act as though they know exactly when the play is going, where it's going. I don't know if the back is giving the play away with his eyes or his body language or what, but this Henry Ford team is playing outstanding defense.
That time, Leon Merritt introduced himself to another All-Stater in Raphael Cooper, and Leon Merritt shot the gap that time. He just wanted to give him a personal invitation. To contact.
I know you're there, you know I'm here, but it's my turn to hit now.
As the two potential All-Staters collide, Dinkins roll out, pressure, and Dinkins is sacked.
He wasn't fooled at all. That was a heads-up play by number 64 for Henry Ford. I want to say that's my little cousin, but I'd be lying. We'll get his name because we do want to give him his credit. That was an outstanding play. That really knocks Chadsey out of field position. That was about a 15-yard loss on that play. Now let's see if Chadsey is going to be forced to go to the air here, Jeff.
And another timeout is called by Detroit Chadsey because they want to discuss it. I think that the defensive unit of Henry Ford is probably causing some confusion up front for the linemen of Detroit Chadsey. They've gone from a 6-man front to a 4-man front to a 3-man front. And we'll see if Detroit Chadsey can get it together as Coach Spann talks it over with his guys. Say, hey, fellas, let's get it together. So when we come back, more football. Hang on. Don't go away. There are some loyal fans. Who are you for? Peace, son. Some loyal Chadsey fans or some fans just checking out the game. There's your score, 14-0. Henry Ford on top of Detroit Chadsey. And Detroit Chadsey fourth and about 35. And they're faced with a possession thing here. So this is the fourth quarter. Dinkins on the slot pass.
Didn't work.
Coming up short to Anthony Van that time. So they're going to turn the ball over to Detroit and Henry Ford.
I heard one of the Chadsey students, Jeff, prior to coming to the booth, he said if my Chadsey team could beat this Henry Ford team one time, I would not graduate. I'd wait to graduate next year. I mean, that's dedication. And I just looked at him.
I hear you. I know what you're saying. We're at McKay Field, the home of the West Side Cubs, an organization that is long in pride and has a list of who's who in high school, as well as a list of who's who that are playing college ball right now. Look at this unbalanced line here. Leon Bright with the give. Londell Bright on the carry. And Leon Merritt leading the way. So the big man leading the way for the little man.
And I also think, Jeff, that this Chadsey team was anticipating Leon running the ball a lot more than he has today. But there's been a big surprise placed on this Chadsey team because this little guy has been burning all day long. He's been causing havoc all over that field.
Information for the trophy. Fumble on the play. It's going to go over to Chadsey as Raymond Hill falls on it. Crucial turnover at this point. Still a lot of time left here in the fourth quarter. But can Detroit Chadsey put 2 touchdowns on the board?
I'm going to go on the line and say this. This is the most important possession for this Chadsey team now. If they don't score this possession, this game is over with. Because the opportunities have been there. The last 3 possessions, they've had the ball. They've had the ball in pretty good field position. And they need to take advantage of it. And if they don't do it this time, I can safely say that the momentum is going to go on with this Henry Ford team, and it's going to stay there.
DeMar Donaldson on the carry just couldn't get the handle on the exchange from the quarterback. See there, he got it a little low on the exchange.
Absolutely. And it went right off his knee. It didn't make the bread basket. Out it went. Chadsey with possession.
Trips right up to the top of the screen. New quarterback, Van in, and he's been tangled up by the pursuit of that Henry Ford line. And once again, I believe that was 64 on the play. Terry Wright.
Again, Jeff, there was absolutely no protection for the quarterback at that particular time. The offensive line completely broke down. Henry Ford had numerous players in the backfield pursuing the quarterback.
Trips right. One man to the bottom of your screen. Anthony Van on a rollout, looking downfield. Throwing it up for grabs, and it's intercepted.
Well, I guess you could say old Mo is trying to change its momentum. That was a lame duck that was put out there for anybody to catch.
Matthew Irving on the interception by Detroit Henry Ford. So now, let's talk ball possession, and let's figure that number 9 in the backfield of the Detroit Henry Ford Trojans will get the ball the rest of the way.
I guarantee you that. Looking at the replay, we can see a couple of things here. First of all, again, we can see the breakdown. Look at the outside coming. Number 11 for Henry Ford. The pressure is there, and just as he released it, he was whopped in the back. There was single coverage out there, but still the ball was put up in the air. Defender for Henry Ford intercepts. Henry Ford has possession now on about the 44-yard line.
Like I was speaking on earlier, that these two programs have produced a number of kids to go on to the college ranks and professional ranks. Bryce Abrams up at Michigan State, a former student of the Henry Ford Trojans. Ronnie Woolfolk, All-American from University of Colorado. Reggie Brown, USC. Derek Miller is playing for Missouri. He's one of the last year players. Arthur Fortunato from Kansas. Orlando Fortunato, he's at Kent State. And younger brother Leo Fortunato, wearing number 12, is playing tackle right now for the Trojans.
All right.
Chadsey has produced a number of talented young men, too. The Boyer brothers. I think you remember this name, Marion Barber. Outstanding running back for Detroit Chadsey in the mid-70s. Went on to play college ball at Minnesota and for the New York Jets. And here's the give off the left side. Whistles blow. The ground cannot cause the fumble. As number 5, Dennis Hubbard picks up about 7 yards on that carry.
Again, right now, what you're seeing is just total breakdown on that defensive line of Chadsey. Henry Ford is winning every way of this game now.
First down as Henry Ford is going to just run the clock and keep it moving. As Leon Merritt picks up another first down for the Trojans.
But I guarantee you this. If Henry Ford was playing Cass Tech, the ball would just be on the ground. Because I'm telling you, Mike still has feeling going back years against Cass Tech, and I think that they would be doing something a little bit differently right here.
High formation. DeAndre Woods looking for the seam, and no gain on the play. Following big Leon Merritt up in the hole.
Leon has also illustrated, too, that he can block, and that's something else that's very important. This young man has not matured yet. His body still has a long way to go. He's possibly looking at a potential being a linebacker in college someday. Let's take a look at this. Watch the way he squared his shoulders. Just one arm to knock one of the defenders out the way. This is the kind of stuff that everybody likes to see.
Merritt gets the ball, picks up about 2.5 on the run. And Henry Ford just wants to run that clock right now.
That's all. Nothing fancy. Just keep it on the field of play. Not go out of bounds. Just keep the clock running and try to get as many first downs as you can. Right now it's 3rd and 8.
Matthews on the carry, close to another first down.
It's going to be close.
Let's see where they mark the ball. Make it 4th down. And
taking a look at the replay. This again is just look at the way the offensive line just opened up